Okay.
All right. So I guess one important thing that I realized was there's an edge case in our uh, drop reordering. It's not drop reordering, our capture clause, I think. And might be because I misunderstood how drop of a reference works. So let
Or a
me
bug or a
share.
hackmd or something.
Sorry.
Is there a bug or a hackmd or something?
I want to make sure before I go create a bug. I was going more for let's look at what is it called? It's playground. Once I figure out how to share my screen, give me 1 second. Oh, share screen, please. Request permissions, please.
Oh, sorry. Took me a bit to catch up with what you were saying there.
Okay. Let's see if I can do that now.
You can now.
I can do that. All right. So let me just give me a second. I'm gonna type this out. Let's yeah. Then we have this. Let's say fn test that takes a string, and let's just add a struct, which is struct string. And what this does is it takes. So what we had discussed was if we have this closure, second, and we do drop foo dot let's say foo. I thought this would force foo to be moved into the closure, but not the statement itself, just because of the drop would force foo to be moved into the closure, and but not really dropped. But if you look at the, oh, my bad. And let's just call it so that, oh, I made it wrong. And let's just also just call it. So, wait, it doesn't capture anything? Oh, I'm unstable. That's
You
fine.
also need to name the variable foo and not f.
Yes, thank you.
Or that way.
Yes. Yeah, so this captures by an immutable borrow. I thought this would force f to get moved, which was, I guess, incorrect. I thought it was forcing somehow, just because how drop of a reference might work, it might force this to get moved, and I guess this was wrong. So the problem will come if I have something like this. Now we need foo to get dropped because it implements destructors for string. So we need
that,
f to be.
that statement is actually, do you want let underscore x?
Which one? This one?
Yeah, because that shouldn't do anything.
No, my point is, okay, so this is user code.
I know.
That's okay, yeah. So my point is, if this is the user code, this does not work as a migration.
Why?
Because this forces an immutable borrow and not a move, which would have happened.
So this
Never
actual
mind. It doesn't.
example has no moves at
Never mind.
all.
It will still be. Never mind. It is previously still also immutable borrow. Never mind. I always confuse that one. Okay.
But if you put let underscore, hold on, I think you're wrong, but I want to check something. If you put let underscore x equals f,
That will force a move.
Right, so now there's actually, no, sorry, let underscore x equals f dot 0.
Oh, yeah.
Now run it, because your example before, well, maybe we still have the like bugs around that underscore, but it shouldn't have caused a move, but
Yeah, it won't, it doesn't cause a move. So this will cause a by value capture,
right.
yes.
Yeah, this
Okay, yeah,
works as expected. Okay, great.
yeah. Okay, yeah. So another thing I wanted to talk to you about was the wrapper pact. So give me 1 second, I'll copy the exam. I shared a link yesterday, I think, or day before. Let's just open that. So I would have expected this to fire a warning at the very least saying, I'm taking a reference into something. Like when the closure is constructed, this will create and do an immutable borrow of foo.x, which is, from what I understand, unsafe.
I think it's not because the field has type U8.
Oh,
So there's no alignment restrictions.
I do this, and this
That might,
will yell at me, ideally. Oh, I need to change this. And I'll do that. Okay, I see. That makes sense. All right. My second question was, if I now do this, which is let
it's kind of
y,
annoying, but like that's a extra condition we have to check for. I didn't realize we were that smart, but carry on.
which condition?
That the field has a type whose alignment is not 1, or whose alignment is not 1.
All right, yes. So,
okay. So it's going.
in this case, well, okay, let's just not move this into the closure, but let's say we had something that would okay, I guess I can just do it here. So let y equals x, I guess. If I do that, now this would probably not trigger the unsafe warning. Yes, because now do we want this behavior?
Yeah. I think we bother. I think we don't.
We don't, right?
It's surprising. I understand why it happens, but
Yeah.
it feels like a sort
kind
of
of
exposing the desugaring, and it feels a little like, what's the word? Like you could do it explicitly by saying let temp equals foo.x and then
yeah.
using temp. And I think you would I would rather you did that. The code is more clear.
I'm sorry, can you say what should I rather do?
I'm saying that you could, if you wanted, if this is the code you want to write and it doesn't compile. So, okay, let me back up. What I don't like about this code is that small modifications will make it stop compiling, like adding a use of foo.y. Or a use of foo. Maybe foo.y will actually work, but
wait, why would a small use of foo stop it from compiling again? Okay, I
maybe
mean
you
this would not.
capture all of foo and not just
Oh, I see. Yes, you're right. Yeah.
foo.
Yeah.
Yeah, so I guess it just seems a little like non-obvious to me.
Yeah. No. That's why I asked.
And if you take it out of the closure, it won't compile, right?
Yes, it won't.
So it sort of relies on this detail of the closure desugaring. And so what I was saying is, I think that's surprising. I'd kind of rather it didn't compile. But what I would expect, if you wanted to write this if you wanted this code to execute and you wanted it to compile correctly, you could write before the closure is created, let temp equals foo.x.
Foo.x, and yeah.
Yeah. And then it would also work if the closure were desugared, like it's the same transformation, right? By the way, I think
Yeah.
I forgot to record this meeting. If we want me to, I will start.
Oh, I
Oh
thought
no, I did record.
yeah, you started.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I've been forgetting all my meetings, but apparently not this one. Okay, so yeah, so I think I'd rather it errors. That, well, but if you add in the truncation, it will error, right?
Yeah, it will error if we truncate on all the axes. Yeah.
Yeah, to a field that
If
is not
immutable.
alignment 1 and is a member of a pack struct.
Yes. Okay. That is what I have. Status update wise, I think I wrote most of this, then I realized this edge case, so, and I probably should. I'm gonna go quickly document.
That's Roxanne's PR.
Yes, that's Roxanne's spear.
Okay.
I actually
I
had one
left some
question.
comments. Has it been updated since then?
She, I think, made some changes. I am not sure about all of them.
It looks like there's still a fair number
Yeah,
of.
yeah, yeah, I think she's probably also, like, we have a couple delivers due tonight, so I think she's probably busy with that. Yes, one second. I want to go document and the size is alignment is not one in our project board,
Yeah.
on our issue, sorry. One
It
second.
would be good to write down our reasoning too, so we don't have to
Yes.
re-remember it.
Uh, only want to trigger truncate.
This is number 33.
Okay. Yeah. Yeah, so it's been a little slow moving. I think Dhruv has sort of started on significant drops or insignificant drops.
Right. Let me just put it. So we're going to say there was an interesting case that we.
Oh, we also probably want to document the truncating one.
Yeah, that's what I'm just leaving a few notes on this.
Okay.
If you have a closure that accesses a packed field, let x equals this could conceivably be safe because the closure desugaring will move out of f.x, and hence the packed field is never actually borrowed. However, we choose to still truncate and hence make this unsafe for consistency and lack of surprise. If the closure were inlined into its collar, for example, you would get unsafe warnings, or unsafe, you would get errors because of the lack of safe block. The workaround for users is to add let temp equals. Okay, great. So where were you?
I was gonna ask one question about the pattern PR. Do we want to have tests which, sorry, excuse me, that print out the mirror and we make sure that the fake reads were added accordingly? And if so, is there an example? I feel like I've seen something similar, but I couldn't find anything outside of mirror optimization.
Mirror opt is the kind, I believe mirror opt is the way to test that.
Okay.
And do we want that? I'm torn. Sort of. On the other hand, mirror opt tests, I don't know. or drag. It would be better if we should be able to observe the fake reads being added or not added, right? Because the reason we're adding them is to make sure that some code doesn't compile. Specifically,
Yeah,
I think code that does a match on an uninitialized
never type, I think.
never
Yeah.
value of type never.
Yeah, so I think my concern was that this should have showed up when, like, I'm assuming our testing suite has that, but at the same time, I think,
I wouldn't assume that we have that in a closure.
yeah, I think that was what I was thinking as well, because I think there was a point where Roxanne removed the fake reads and it worked. So I think maybe adding a test case with,
Yeah, we definitely want at least some test that fails when the
ex-
fake reads are removed.
yes,
I was trying to figure out, you saw my comment about whether the fake reads were being added at the right place.
I saw some of them. I haven't gone through all of these. Give me 1 second. I'll take a look.
A lot of them were like silly nits, but I was trying to figure out, can it happen that you have, oh, 1 second. Okay, so what I was trying to imagine is, I think we add fake reads for everything that gets matched, right?
Yes.
Whether or not we also capture it in some other way.
Yes. I think, yes.
So if we, for example, move something and match it, then I think
We'll
there could be a
introduce a fake read.
problem because the fake read, like the first thing we do is move it to a temporary variable, and then we do a fake read on that
I see.
original location, and so the bar checker should be whiny about this.
Given that I'm basing this off how things were written before, I would assume this is fine because before this, we were introducing fake reads for everything that was matched on, right?
Hold on 1 second. Sorry. What were you saying?
So if I understand the existing code correctly, we introduce a fake read regardless of if things are matched, right?
I think that what we said was that we would always add a fake read. I think I initially proposed that we should add fake reads only if it's not used some other way, and then I thought we don't need to do that, and we can just always introduce fake reads for anything that gets
Yes.
matched. And
Yes.
and if you're asking, does match always introduce a fake read? The answer is yes.
Yeah.
Um,
That's
so I still think that's all true. I just think that putting the fake reads in the location where they are might lead to incorrect borrow check errors. And that maybe
I
we want
see.
to add the fake
See.
reads before we do the captures.
Wait, where do they get added in the CFG? Let me see.
For me,
I see your point.
I
Are
thought they
they?
get added between the captures and actually constructing the closure.
Oh, yeah, we can do them right before and then,
I would first want to have a test that fails. That's
yeah, no, that's fair. Give me 1 second.
make sure I'm
Oh,
right.
I stopped sharing my screen. I probably hold on a second so that it's not good up there. So we have, this should be in as our value, I think. Yeah, this is an as our value. Wait. Oh, I closed it. That's what happened. Yeah, I see. I see. This happens when we actually, I don't think this is what happens. So we introduce them into the CFG and then we construct the closure. But this is just, the borrow checker doesn't run here, right? This is just building the mere expressions for them.
But that's going to be, yeah, that's going to generate the mirror.
All right, that's going to generate some degree of mirror because yes, we are doing block and stuff.
It might be that you, in order to observe this, you have to, you might need to do a move might not trigger it. Because if you have a move, it's going to be a place. So
Yeah.
there's no mirror generated here. What I think would trigger it is if you did a mute borrow.
Okay, hold on. Let me start.
Hold on a second.
Write a test.
I'm hearing something I have to check on, but yeah.
I'll start writing a test here. That was a bad idea. So I realize we do have a test which does mute borrow. Well, it does a unique mute, maybe.
Which test is it?
So this is test tuple struct.
Okay.
This was basically, so it calls into this method, which takes a mute self. And we call the match on that mute self. It's like we pass the immutable reference to self into this.
Yeah, but that's not quite right because you need to match on the thing that is also being mute borrowed. Do you have a build of this by any chance?
I do not have a local build now.
Okay, I could start a build. Maybe where can I? I'll send it on Zulip. This is, I think, a test that would work.
All right, I'll paste this on the PR. Maybe just add it on the PR so that it's just documented.
Okay, what's the name of the PR?
It's 82536.
82536. Okay. So, okay, example test that I think will fail. Code as is. I think if you did something like this. Do you see my comment now?
So that will create a mute reference to X and we match on X and that would work.
The main difference between this and what you showed me is that the match and the mute reference are both the same.
I see.
As opposed to it being some expression that happens to involve X.
I see. Okay. I do not have a build of this, unfortunately.
Maybe
yeah,
can ping Roxanne if she has one lying around.
I messaged her if she was joining. She hasn't replied yet.
Yeah, no, I'm just gonna ping her on Zulip and
Oh, okay.
when she is around.
Okay, yeah. Yeah, I'm pretty certain she's working on the deliverable at that point, at this point. Yeah, also, Lib's team responded on the introducing a new capture clause,
Okay.
and uh, I think their suggestion also works to some degree, if I think about it correctly. So they suggested using this as the,
Oh, I'm not looking at
oh,
it. I'm sure.
I'll just type it out.
What they suggest?
So this will still work because this is an expression which force an immutable borrow of f on its entirety.
Yeah, that will
While
work.
not, yeah, and so they
But
suggested that this is what they would prefer.
hmm,
I
hmm, hmm.
I think this is
Well, okay.
might be incorrect. The reasoning, which is drop the variable at the end.
That reasoning is incorrect.
Yeah.
But that's not. First of all, I don't know who that is. I don't think they're on the Libs team. But
Uh,
secondly, that's really a question of what the macro expands to,
yes.
which I don't
Not
really care about. What I do care about is, I mean, as long as it works. What I do
yes.
care about is
Where it lands in the
how
standard library.
users think about it. And I feel like users, I guess I will say, I agree that that is a better desugaring,
Hmm.
or I agree
Yeah.
that if that's not what I meant. I don't think it matters which one is the desugaring, but I think that's a better, if I were a user, I'd
Yeah.
find that less confusing than the
Yes.
drop,
Exactly.
but I still think I would find it quite
It
hacky as compared
it
to the
is.
macro.
I think it really comes down to user having to understand capture analysis to know why that's working.
I think that
Well, to
is
some
maybe
degree.
a better choice. The captures, I think that's maybe a better expansion, not for the reason that they gave, but
Hmm.
because it's a full statement.
Yes.
And thus you couldn't use captures X in some weird place. Like if you expand to drop, you can write things like let Z equals captures X and Z will become unit or whatever.
Yeah.
And
Yeah.
like,
Yeah.
that's dumb. As it is,
Yes.
the captures macro still allows you to put it in all kinds of places that you can still put it anywhere a statement goes,
Hmm.
which we might rather that you can't,
Hmm.
but I don't think it's worth worrying about. But okay, okay. Anyway, this is good that you bring this up because on my mind was that we need to do a write up. We need to like make a real proposal here. Uh,
Okay.
and I was gonna ask. I was probably gonna do that unless you want to.
Proposal about what? In
I want to make. I mean, I want.
like a
mm,
discussion with Libs team?
Yeah, I want to write up like not a RFC because it's not that big of a thing, but a mini RFC about adding this macro and that sort of explains the context, why it needs to be there.
Hmm.
And then that way, and then have the libs team do
Like sort of
an
discussions.
FCP.
Yeah.
Um,
Uh, how big does this need to be? Because I probably won't have too much time again over the. Just,
it doesn't have to be too big. I think, you know, um,
I can write a draft and we can work from
sure,
that.
sure, yeah. I didn't expect it to be more than, let's say, a few. I'm trying to think how to measure it. That's productive. you know,
I guess
I, I just think
uh,
it can be some bullet points. It just has to be structured in a way that is
okay.
understandable. And
Okay.
captures the essential information.
Yeah. I think, yeah, I can pick up the reason from.
Mm,
Does Libsteam, I'm assuming they care about what this gets desugared to at the end because it is ending in standard lib.
I would certainly include the desugaring.
Yeah.
And I think I would probably adopt this let one. I think that's better for the reason I gave.
Yes. Yeah.
That's an
Yeah.
example of the kind of thing I would like to include in the write-up is we chose this desugaring because it doesn't allow you to do this or that, but note that you can still get captures in funny.
I'll leave
I guess I would also, if you want to write up, just start a hackmd and write some thoughts. I can add a few things later.
yeah, I'll leave a message reply to this user. I'm not sure to pronounce it.
One other
UID.
thing we could do, but I think I don't like it,
Um,
is you could imagine having the captures macro replace the closure, be like
hmm.
capturing closure or something, but I don't like that. It's just really invasive and complicated. And
I think that is going, if I understand correctly, you're suggesting something like something list of variables and then the actual closure here of sorts.
yeah, more or less.
Yeah,
The
I,
reason
I, go
I
ahead.
there's I like and don't, it might actually be a better choice, but I also don't like it. But the reason it might be a better choice is if we think in the future, there's a lot of
Mhm.
stuff you could do with that macro
Yes.
that you can't do with the macro inside the closure body. So actually, it probably, I think I just convinced myself that even though I don't like it, it might be a better choice. This is why
Uh,
I write up.
I'll create a hackmd, add the points we have right now, and I'll. So I think this is similar to the discussion we had a while back, right, where we want a capture clause, and I'm assuming this is
Mm.
the macro is basically a hack around adding a capture clause to the language directly, or am
Yeah,
I
this is
misunderstanding
really,
what you're aiming
there's
for?
really no dependency here. I'm coming back around to like maybe this wants to be, maybe we do even want an RFC, but the let underscore equals ampersand is like good enough that we could get by with that.
It also comes down, I mean, there are of course going to be some users who will wonder what's happening inside that thing, but my like I think one thing we do want to make clear with the macro is that it doesn't return the variable back, so so that people don't try let x equals capture x and stuff like that.
Yeah, I guess I still like the macro. You know what? Don't worry about it. I feel like I'm gonna want to do enough. I'll just do the write-up.
All
I
right.
kind of feel like I'm gonna wind up doing it anyway, if you don't have that
Okay.
much time, and I have various thoughts I want to put in there. So,
Okay.
uh,
I'll just leave a message for this user, which is like drop x1 drop the variable
that's fine.
immediately, uh, but let underscore equals ampersand x is a cleaner solution. And since it's a statement, it restricts the macro from being used in
I'm not crazy about.
expressions. Uh, expressions.
I guess that permitting. Even if we added standard marker capture, and we later wanted to add capture clauses or something else, we can always deprecate it.
We can always turn this into expression, right? Like the thing inside it. Since like, I think what we were discussing was instead of an ident, if we have an expression here.
Yeah, but it doesn't like give you the use case I'm really interested in
Mhm.
that I don't think you can do with this macro is when you want to capture clones of things.
Oh, I
You
see.
have RCs and you want to take a clone of the RC and not, and
Mhm.
um, if you had a macro that wrapped the closure, then it could expand to like a block that does let x equals x dot clone, that y equals y dot clone, and then the closure. And so it could actually handle a bunch of cases that are more interesting. Um,
Yeah.
but On the other hand, it looks, I don't know, it's going to be more messy. So.
Also, is there anything else that I'm missing here?
Oh, wait a minute. We allow statements, or we allow attributes on closure.
Statements? We do allow attributes on closures, yes.
I mean, we're leveraging this. Is that stable?
The attribute that we are using right now is for debugging only.
Yeah, not the exact one we're using, but attributes in that position.
They are stable to some degree, yes. I think they get weird when you use async closures because they don't have an actual, like if I just do an async block, which desugars to an async closure, I think that causes problems.
Can we do procedural macros?
Maybe. I have never implemented one, so I'm not sure. Let's just try this. If I were to call this an async block, and I'll just call that a wait here. Oh, on this, I have a feeling this would not print out the capture analysis. Oh, wait, why am I on 2015? Weird. Oh.
Expressions are experimental.
Sorry?
701. I said it says attributes on expressions are experimental.
Oh.
Why does it say that? What?
I have a feeling this might, okay, I'm gonna open the tracking issue.
I'm looking, I think I know why. It's because of precedence, but we could plausibly stabilize attributes in this place.
All
the
right,
reason I'm asking is the syntax that we really want is probably a captured attribute on the closure.
Yes, something like that. Yeah.
That would be, that's nice. Like that's actually nice.
Yes, I think that's what I was trying to. Yeah, so if we do this over here, it doesn't print anything.
Yeah, but that's
even
not
though. Does this not resolve to a closure at the end? An async block?
What's a generator?
Okay, well, generator are closures by.
Yeah, that's fine. That's just your like wacky little.
Okay.
I mean, we can fix that. I don't know what's going on there, but I can imagine what my async block, I think, resolves to like an expression that has a closure in it somewhere, but isn't a closure all by itself, if that makes sense.
Like the reason I'm like, I know async blocks are definitely affected by our RFC in a nice way because I tested it out because someone asked if those work.
Oh, interesting. Okay, I see. So you're saying you can't test it with this feature.
I can test the feature is working. I can't print the analysis out for it.
Can you try this? Well, send me that URL.
Hold on 1 second. I'll just do that works, and I'll just stream you, I guess.
However. Yeah. Okay. Because
I'll find the time I tested this and hold on.
Captured. This didn't work either, I guess. Okay. So I was trying to see if you could do. If you could put a inner attribute.
Oh, I see.
But it didn't work. I don't know why.
So this is async things working well with our feature. And if I comment this out, they stop.
Oh, it's probably on the block. That's probably why.
You can't, yeah, so makes me weirdly happy when I can see things working. I'm like, it's
that's really cool. Yeah, no, it's really cool. I mean, we can at least test that it works.
Yeah, it's like
we should be able to
this
attributes.
does not work if I recall correctly, but I'll
No, that doesn't work. But there should we have to look at the desugaring. Regardless, I think okay. Anyway, I think I know what I want to propose for the captures macro. I'll have to investigate its feasibility, but I think it's the right thing to do.
I guess I've suggested this a couple times already, but yeah, I think the attributes will come down to similar to, I guess, the C++ style of just like listing, having a set of things at the start.
Sure,
That
but let me put it in.
like in a nice way.
Yeah, but that sounds right. I'm just gonna show in Zulip what I think we should do.
All right, 1 second. Oh no, not this. That's. Oh, that reminds me. I have one more question that I'll ask after this. Yeah, and are we allowing something like where X, Y, and Z are expressions? So I can say X equals X dot clone, Y equals Y dot clone, or is that a possible extension that we might go for?
I would probably do that as a future extension.
Okay.
I would definitely want to allow that. I just don't know. I'd rather like design it in peace.
Okay.
And only
No,
accept
that's fair.
the single letters for now, single identifiers.
Okay. No, that's fair.
There's
Yeah.
some interesting questions like, yeah, anyway, they're interesting questions. The nice thing about this is it can become, it's totally extensible. It looks decent. It can be implemented as a procedural macro. And it can become syntax, or I don't know, it can scale up to whatever we need it to do.
How easy is this to work with Rust? Actually, Rust fix will probably be easy because you don't need to deal with adding braces or anything then.
Yeah, actually, that's even easier from the, I don't know how the precedence works. That's my only vague concern of these stupid attribute expressions. Like, gotta make sure that it binds to the right place, if that makes sense.
Yes, I think from what I was looking into, most of the parsers also fairly handwritten, so I don't know how this does end up happening.
It's a mess.
Yeah.
It might not actually work the way I want it to, which would be annoying. But it would be easier, assuming it does work. It seems like it's actually much easier to do.
This is the nicer syntax, yes.
Yeah, this is the right syntax. The only problem would be what I see as a possible problem. It's kind of even hard to like make the expression that would be problematic, but it'd be something like this. Can you even do this? How do you do it?
Wait, what are you trying?
I don't think you have a problem. I don't think there can be a problem. So the problem I'm concerned about
Is an empty list.
Parse. We should try what that does. Might parse. We can make it not parse.
I mean, that's, oh, if you call the thing at the same time. Oh, I see what you might be going
my
for.
concern.
Yes, like it forms an expression and then that acts as a thing on the,
Question
well, on the call. Then
this does not build, though. You can't write that.
Okay.
I don't know if there's any expression you can make that involves a closure that doesn't involve a parenthesis around the closure. You know what I mean?
You cannot. I was trying to use that recently. You have to put a parenthesis around the closure and the whole thing, and then call it to the call.
Yeah. So that's actually good for us because that makes Rust fix easier, right?
Yes.
We just got to stick it there. And now this is much easier than the old Rust fix. We don't have to add braces, right?
Yes. Like this. Do we need anything from the Lang team on this? Because I know the Lang team decided on the capture.
Well, that's kind of what I'm saying. Like, we need to make some formal decision.
Yes.
And
Oh,
that's
and I
why
guess all three teams sort of sign off on it, compile
I
their
think
lines
this
and
is,
libs.
yeah, it's kind of, this is one of those things that's like at the intersection of laying and libs, but it's going to take a little bit of, to make this work is going to be a little funky because those kind of attributes are not stable. So we'll have to like stabilize them on closures
I see.
specifically, or at least
I see.
stabilize this one on closures. I don't know. I can live with that,
Okay.
but I have to write the
Okay.
proposal.
Okay. Okay. I don't know how much this changes on the April 1st that we want to hit.
Uh, I would like, don't we have support? I think for the time being, we should prototype the let underscore equals solution.
Okay. Okay. We can like, I
You
feel like
already
this is
wrote that code, didn't you?
the letter. I mean, that's just like, it doesn't do the Rust fix part anyway. So
Oh, it
it's
doesn't do the
just,
rest fix part. Okay.
yes, it just shows up as a suggestion. I don't know if Rust fix automatically works on it.
Rustfix
I guess.
does automatically apply suggestions, but if you're using the like actual suggestion
I
API,
maybe I'd have to try it out. I haven't tested that, but I don't think that is hard to. That
did
one
you
is
do
that
all the
hard to.
hard work of like figuring out when you need braces and stuff?
No, that's not done.
Okay,
No.
then it probably
This
won't
is
work. There's like an API that you kind of give it a diff. Well, what you do is you give it the old string and a new string, and
okay.
it
I
like
see.
does this stuff.
Um,
Yeah, it
yeah,
might affect our April 1st deadline. It's a pain in the butt.
just because that decision needs to also happen.
Well,
Um,
yeah,
I
not
I feel like
necessarily.
if we can have most of the things done, this won't be hard to add on. So
Yeah, I think this actually makes it a lot easier because there's a lot less
yes.
grungy code to write. So I'll try to
Okay.
move the decision along. I think this is obviously right. I would be surprised if people nitpick
Okay.
it too much.
I have one more question that I was trying to, I didn't get any response on, and I think, actually, I got a response. I did not see they happened today. Oh, okay, you responded. All right. Yeah, I've been pretty
I
busy
think,
since I
yeah, you
realized.
can see what I wrote there. I think the answer is sort of a bug. Like
Yeah,
the docs, I think are wrong.
yeah,
I don't think you can, I think you have to be consistent, but it kind of doesn't matter.
yes.
But if you
It's the,
generated sometimes with Downcast and sometimes without, I suspect BorrowCheck would possibly consider those disjoint paths,
I see.
which would be
That
wrong.
is also possible. Yeah.
So
And do they only happen on enums and struct? I'm trying to remember because I'm trying to remember what was the bug that triggered the downcast thing. Funny part is I wrote the, like when I initially did the mirror like conversion, I handled borrow check downcast the way we do it now. And I was like, oh, I can make the core cleaner because it's not needed. Hold on one second. Yeah, let me see if I can find the code that triggered the downcast for Roxanne. One second. Uh, hmm, give me a minute. I don't know if this was just enums. I'll ask her and I'll ping her on Zulip and then I guess you can let her respond there. It's gonna, otherwise I have to scroll through a whole bunch of chat. All right, patterns are here. All right, and I'll say, okay. And do you know if the down issue is only on enums are wait, structs won't be affected, right? Structs are just not, they only have zero variant.
they have
Actually,
one
no,
level.
no. What we saw was variant zero. So our
It sounded like, from what you wrote, I thought you said that structs do not have downcast, but single variant enums do.
that is possible. Like that is the code we. Oh, I shared the code. Why was I looking for it? Okay, yes, that is the yes, that is what we tested it on. Uh, I think, okay, we can just try it on playground, right? Because I can use a
Yeah,
struct and
sure.
I can dump mirror on playground if I'm not wrong.
You can, yes.
So if I do this,
You're missing the first letter.
yes. Well, I need to probably turn this into a struct anyway.
No,
And
yeah, yeah.
and I'll just make this a double struct. I guess it's just easier to deal with. And that. And this looks about right, I guess.
Mhm.
Okay. Wait, will this show downcast projections here? And if so,
I think
how?
so.
Probably should have
Well,
tested
try
the
the old one and see what it looks like.
Yeah, yeah. I'll just create a new tab just so I don't have to type it over and over. And I'll copy that escape. Oh, no, that one. All right.
There's a lot of
That
tabs
thing.
now.
Yeah, I'm really enjoying the grouping because now I don't have to maintain multiple windows and stuff. Okay, I'll just paste this here and see how that goes.
That's some new Chrome feature or something.
Yeah, that's a new Chrome feature.
I've been into this Workona. Highly recommended. It's a really cool.
Oh, what thing?
It's called Workona, like
Okay.
Workona, and it lets you it's a plugin. I have it on Firefox, but I think they have it for Chrome too, I assume. I mean, maybe nuts not to.
Okay.
And what it does is it gives you workspaces that you can switch between.
Oh, I was
And
using that for. Oh, wait, proper workspaces or just like containers that Firefox offers?
no, proper workspaces. So
Oh,
like when you switched between Rust and CS 444, it would close all your other tabs and just show you the ones that are relevant.
oh, that's really
And then you
nice.
can
Okay.
do nice things like pop over to it and say, take these 3 tabs and put them in a new workspace because I got
Yeah,
distracted and was doing something else and then
nice.
I use it all the
That's
time now.
that's pretty nice. Okay, so this is our
So yeah, you see
closure.
how it says as point?
Where is
Look
it?
at BB0
Okay,
up.
that's.
No,
Oh
up.
yeah, I see that. Now there's that, right?
Well, okay,
This
yes,
thing,
that's
right?
true. Yeah, that works.
Okay. Now if I go back to this one and I look at it within the closure. Wait, why did it not generate the? Oh yeah, that's the closure. Yeah, it does not do.
I think we leave out downcast for structs, but we keep them for enums. And
Okay.
I think that's a perfectly fine rule and we should just document it.
All right.
In principle,
Yeah, I'll.
you probably don't need them for single variant enums, but like
Yes, like it's an irrefutable pattern. So
it would be fine to have a rule that said if there's more than one variant, that would also be a perfectly fine rule and probably a better
I
rule.
I don't think that's something this PR should do.
Absolutely. Yeah.
Yeah, I think.
Yeah, it's a totally orthogonal change.
Yeah, I'll just leave a message here.
That would probably be a better rule just because it's less mirror.
Yeah.
Fewer nodes.
We tested dumping mirror, and it seems like only.
But I don't
No,
think it should matter to the PR.
it does not. The PR can safely handle it, so it's in a without relying on any assumptions. I think fine.
Okay. Oh, I
Yeah.
have to call, but
All right.
I
I
think we're
think
kind of
I
done
think
here.
we're done. I don't have anything else. Do you have anything else?
Nope.
All right. Thank you.
See you later.
See ya.